It was the spring of 1940. Europe was shrouded in fear. Just 1 week after Nazi Germany invaded Denmark, a fragile light emerged in the darkness. A princess was born. On April 16, 1940, in the Amalienborg Palace in Copenhagen, Princess Margrethe Alexandrine Thorhildur Ingrid entered the world, her first cries echoing in a land occupied by foreign forces. Denmark, a peaceful nation, had fallen to Germany in mere hours. It was a time of silence, uncertainty, and survival. And in the heart of that turmoil, a nation's future queen took her first breath. She was the first child of Crown Prince Frederick and Crown Princess Ingrid, the granddaughter of King Christian X, a monarch known for his quiet resistance to Nazi control and for famously riding through the streets of Copenhagen on horseback without guards, a silent symbol of Danish unity. While bombs didn't fall like they did in other nations, Denmark's resistance ran deep beneath the surface, in secret meetings, coded messages, and courageous hearts. And little Margrethe, though too young to understand it, was being raised in a household steeped in that same strength and quiet resolve. From her mother, a Swedish princess with modern views, she learned the elegance of grace and independence. From her father, the future king, she inherited a sense of duty, calm, considered, unwavering. When the war ended in 1945, Denmark emerged battered but intact, and Margrethe, now 5, stood on the threshold of a changing Europe, a royal child shaped by war, raised by history, and watched by a nation still healing. She was growing into more than a symbol. She was growing into a future leader, born in chaos, but destined to bring calm. Royal by blood, resilient by nature. From her very first breath, Margrethe embodied the quiet strength of her people. By the early 1950s, Denmark was rebuilding, not just its cities, but its identity. It was a time of progress, of possibility. But within the walls of the royal palace, a quiet dilemma lingered. Crown Prince Frederick and Crown Princess Ingrid had no sons, only daughters. And under the 1665 Act of Succession, that meant no daughter, no matter how noble, could ever wear the crown. For Princess Margrethe, it was a paradox. She was born into royalty, but not into rule. She was admired, beloved, but never expected to reign. Yet the Danish people, ever practical and modern in spirit, began to ask, why not her? The movement for change gained momentum. In 1953, a national referendum was held. The question? Should the law be changed to allow female succession? The result was historic. By a significant majority, the Danish people voted yes. The constitution was amended, and Princess Margrethe was declared heir presumptive to the throne. She was just 13 years old. Overnight, everything changed. She was no longer just a royal child. She was the future of the Danish monarchy. The weight of destiny settled on her small shoulders, but she wore it lightly. With quiet discipline, she began to prepare. Languages, law, history, diplomacy. While other teens dreamed of dance halls and daydreams, Margrethe was learning how to become a queen. This wasn't the fairy tale of tiaras and gowns. It was the making of a monarch, a woman being forged not by desire for power, but by duty to serve. She didn't seek the crown, but when it called her name, she answered with grace. Because sometimes the greatest leaders are chosen not by ambition, but by the quiet force of fate. On January 14, 1972, Denmark was plunged into mourning with the passing of King Frederick IX. After more than 2 decades on the throne, the beloved king, known for his warm personality and deep connection with the people, left behind a legacy of modernization and national pride. His eldest daughter, Princess Margrethe, was just 31 years old when she assumed the throne. Though prepared by years of royal duty, study, and public service, nothing could truly ready her for the weight of the crown. There was no grand coronation. Denmark had abolished that tradition centuries earlier. Instead, what followed was a solemn and historic ceremony at Christiansborg Palace. On the balcony of the palace, before thousands of citizens gathered in silence below, Prime Minister Jens Otto Krag officially proclaimed her as Queen Margrethe II. Clad in black mourning attire, the new queen stepped forward. Her voice clear but heavy with emotion, she delivered the words that would become etched in Danish history. "My beloved father, our king, is dead. The king is dead. Long live the queen." With that single, powerful declaration, Denmark witnessed its first female sovereign in over 1,000 years. A monarch and an artist. Queen Margrethe is not only a monarch, but a mind driven by imagination, curiosity, and deep artistic passion. Her creative spirit has been a quiet companion throughout her reign, a sanctuary away from the formalities of royal life. Fluent in multiple languages and educated in archaeology, political science, and philosophy, she's a true scholar at heart. But it's her artistic soul that truly sets her apart from other monarchs. Under the pseudonym Ingehild Grathmer, Margrethe illustrated a Danish edition of The Lord of the Rings. Her detailed, expressive line work caught the attention of J.R.R. Tolkien himself, who praised her vision and approved their use in official editions. She's also a talented costume designer and set artist, contributing to Danish ballet productions and theatrical performances with a keen eye for history and color. Whether designing church vestments or intricate tapestries, her work blends tradition with originality. Art for Margrethe is not a royal hobby, it's a language, a form of self-expression rarely granted to those who live under a crown. And yet she's found a way to quietly weave it into the fabric of her public role. Her creativity is a rare glimpse into the private world of a queen who, behind the protocols and portraits, is an artist first and always. A legacy of quiet power. Now in her 80s, Queen Margrethe stands as Denmark's longest-serving monarch, an enduring symbol of duty, culture, and grace. She never chased headlines. She never sought fame or favor. And yet, over the decades, she earned something far greater, respect, not only from her people, but from leaders and citizens across the world. Her reign hasn't been defined by flashy moments or dramatic gestures. Instead, it has been a quiet rhythm of service, marked by intellect, creativity, and a deep understanding of her nation's soul. Margrethe is not a queen of spectacle. She is a queen of substance, a monarch who leads not through charisma, but through consistency, not by force, but by presence. And in a world that often rewards volume over wisdom, her legacy reminds us of the quiet power of resilience, grace, and staying true to oneself. She is not a queen of fairy tales. She is a queen of reality, of responsibility, intellect, and subtle power. Queen Margrethe, Denmark's quiet force.